Okay, we're live, I guess. How's everyone doing? Let me just check the connection here. The stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Well, I don't care. By the way, today's the first day in my life that I drank sake. And I gotta say, like, I don't know why other people don't like it. Like, most Romanians hate sake. But it's really good. I think it's because it's a lot lighter than what a lot of Romanians like. And you can taste a little bit of the rice in it. And I don't know, I just like it as a drink. I drank it cold, but apparently, like, you can warm sake. I don't know how warm sake would taste like. Do you just boil it, or do you add some plant and medicinals and stuff in it? Um, yeah. Patreon is in a lot of trouble. Did you guys know that? Apparently, a judge said they have to forward the fees for arbitration. Like, the way it works is that apparently the judge said, sorry, the law states that if Patreon wants to ban someone, then they should be able to go to some meeting, like an arbitration, where the people that would pay money to that artist can then try to work it over with Patreon. Like, is there no other way we can do things? And as I understand, like, their initial terms of service was written in a time where they didn't expect that they would ban people for wrong thing. Now Patreon is the worst company that I've ever seen. Like, the way they're reaching is insane. Like, there was this hentai artist, okay, that likes to draw the fiki fiki. And Patreon is basically taking control of his art. Like, they're saying where he is allowed to post or not. They're saying what he is allowed to draw or not. They're saying, basically, like, all his art belongs to Patreon. And he went like, fuck this shit. So he shuts down his Patreon and goes somewhere else. And now Patreon, is hurting. Like, good. I don't care. I got a lot of money on Patreon. That is for a Romanian. I think I get like $800 last time I checked from Patreon. Like, I really appreciate that, and I thank everyone that's donating to me. It really helped me out, especially now that I'm trying to buy a new house. Like, I need that money. But man, if I see Patreon burn, I'm not going to shed a tear. Like, I literally will not shed a tear if I see Patreon burn, legally speaking, of course. I haven't thrown a D20 in anger since the second edition. The 5th edition is actually kind of interesting. I kind of hate it in a way. It makes you as the character feel incredibly powerful. Like, every single class is a powerhouse in 5th edition, which is why it makes it really difficult to have intricate plots in it. It makes it really difficult to have any sort of mystery in it. Like, think about it this way, right? Like, let's say you have a classic. Let's say in 5th edition you want to have a murder mystery. And the classic murder mystery is that players spend the night in a manor, and one person gets killed, and they have to figure out who's the killer, right? Like, that is classic. Well, how can you do that when the cleric can just cast Zone of Truth and get the people in the manor to tell the truth? Like, it's not a really good system for anything cerebral. Like, if you want intricate plot lines or stuff like that, 5th edition is not good. What 5th edition is actually good for is the combat, like really heroic, legendary stuff. Thanks for a fun D&D session. First time listening to an actual play that's not annoying. Well, I try. I do take criticism to heart. So if I hear some criticism, I'll try to change my style in order to be better. Is it ever okay to take away free speech from communists, considering the ideology is violent? No, here's the thing with free speech, right? I don't think people talking and flapping a mouth is ever a problem. It's the action that a person takes. So I have no problem with communists spewing their ideology. The problem is when communists start banning people, censoring people, shutting down events. That's not speech, that's action. And that is the problem. Like, if it was up to me, I would make it illegal to fire someone based on political leanings. Like, political leanings should be a defended class, just like gender is. Just like religion is. Like, why is religion a protected characteristic, but political leanings isn't? Like, how can you have a democracy when certain politics are being said, no, you're not allowed to have them? Because the thing is, like, I get it, how they're putting their foot in the door and they're saying, well, you know, like, some ideologies are inherently violent by nature. It's like, okay, but who gets to decide? Because we get to see, like, basic bitch politicians like Nigel Farage in the United Kingdom, which the people like, and he is being cancelled. So it's like, no, I disagree with this. 3.5 is better. Your class doesn't define you like socialism. Yeah, so, you know, for the people who haven't watched my Dungeons and Dragons campaign since the beginning, I suppose I should give you a little bit of a rundown, right? Like, and maybe I'll make this into a video, but it's kind of hard to tell what happened in a D&D in a universe that you've created. So I created a universe where an entire city the size of London is surrounded by a mist. And everyone that goes into the mist never comes back or comes back possessed. And the main authority is the church that rings a bell and keeps the mist away. And that's a really interesting story that you can have, because it adds a lot of mystery, you know, it gets the players, like, trying to find the intrigue of what's going on. And eventually they find out that the leaders of the church tried to cast a spell that would send them to heaven, like to unlock the gates of heaven. And what ended up happening is that the divine, in this case God, seeing their hubris, casted them into hell. So the entire city of London is actually in hell, and the mist is just the souls of the damned that are trying to take possession of anyone that touches them. So it's pretty much like The Exorcist, right? Like, if you go into the place with the mist, then the souls of the damned try to take control of you. Yeah, so the reason that the church manages to keep the mist at bay is because they've made a deal with one of the lords in hell to provide human sacrifices in exchange for protection. And the way they do this human sacrifice is through burning people at the stake. You know, witches, people that are from the LGBT, you know, like just Christianity at its worst. And that's how people don't notice that, you know, they're being sacrificed or whatnot. And, like, you'd have just some inquisitor going in and saying, oh yeah, this person's a witch. Been listening to a long time, many years now. Thank you, Emo Rap. I appreciate that. So that's the main premise, you know. And I tried to create different factions. Like, one of the factions is Mayor Goldsmith. Now, Mayor Goldsmith is representing the old nobility. The nobility used to be in power, and now the church is in power. So obviously they don't like that, but they can't openly rebel against the church because they do see that the church is keeping the mist at bay. So what do, right? And the church also needs the nobility because the nobility maintains order. Like, the church doesn't have the numbers of people in order to maintain order. So that's why they tolerate each other. In one way, Mayor Goldsmith is the underworld, you know, representing the people, while the church understands the supernatural. So they kind of need each other, and they go against each other every now and then, but they can't openly fight each other. So in the case of Sargon's Manor, it was that you have the two factions doing open conflict for the first time, but it's outside the city. And, you know, outside the city, there's bandits, there's thieves, there's muggers, there's other creatures, so it's fine. The third faction that I have is the Elvish faction, and the Elvish faction is something that I'm going to base on the Aztecs. And the elves, they know ways around the mist. Like, they have a type of magic that allows them to traverse the mist through certain corridors. And they have this entire different culture. Like, as they go through the mist, there's, you know, various cities and jungles and places that they can inhabit. But because they are limited on resources and limited on space, the way they manage to maintain their population is by killing off most of the men. And yeah, men are dispensable in the Elvish culture. But it's kind of interesting, right? Because they don't kill all the men. They only kill some of them. and the sacrifice is done when the man is a baby, and they sacrifice them to the tree gods, which is why the elves are able to cast druid magic. And they aren't sexist towards men like you would expect. Like, they actually venerate the men for the sacrifice that they view it's necessary for them to do. And again, like, this is in hell, right? Like, the sacrifices and the people that give them the power is probably another powerful entity of hell that is controlling the elves. And I have found like some really interesting monsters. Like, let me just show you what cool stuff I have planned. There is an entire like if you go on the internet, you're going to find a lot of monster manuals that are really great, and they expand on what the original manual did. And you can find some really cool things like this one, you know, that you can add, especially if you're going for an Aztec campaign. Like, look at this, you know. But I'll show you some more interesting creatures. Some of them are really good for a horror setting. Like these ones. Like this is something that you can find in a jungle. See if I can find something that goes really well with Aztec culture. Like, yeah, look at this. You know, I'm going to be probably in trouble for cultural appropriation, but look. Like, you can actually have, like, exactly what I need, you know? I need these demonic creatures. Like, look at this. Now, usually, I don't look at the AC, right? Like, a lot of people criticize me for this, but I don't care. Like, if I find something cool, I can use it. But I have to make it so that it's on par with the party. So, for example, if I have... And we're back. Yeah, we're back. Okay, so, for example, if I want to use this Dracothar. Now, this has a challenge rating of 6. And... if I put it against a party of level 4s, then it's going to be very hard for them. So what I do is, like, I either lower the damage. Like, for example, this one does 2d8 plus 3, right? And he's got 3 attacks. Well, I can just make it so he does 2 attacks. And I can remove some abilities, like Lightning Breath or Lightning Arrow or stuff like that. And I usually like try to give the party a second wind, like an extra ability. In the last encounter, like when they were facing a T-Rex, I gave them a mage that could cast Fireball and Shrink Person as a spell. So that was like something they could use if things were getting bad. Plus I gave them a fort that they could stay in, and the dinosaurs would have a hard time getting in. Like, it was a brutal encounter. If Sargon would have rolled poorly and fell off the T-Rex, or if the party decided to leave the fort, then it would have probably been a party wipe. But they're experienced role players and didn't do that. Look at some of the cool things that you got. Like, man, look, I want to use this, you know? So, yeah. The Dvarpala. I need to pronounce these things correctly, you know? Blood elementals, like they got so much cool shit that you can use, and the art style is also amazing. So I found like an entire monster manual. Oh, look, furries. They can kill this with fire, can't they? Yeah, I found like an entire monster manual that gives you so much cool stuff, like far more than the official D&D monster manual gives you. I mean, look at this, a ghost dragon. Right, challenge rating 11. Yeah, you can make a lot of cool stuff. Why did I abandon the Lovecraftian premise? That's a good question, right? Because initially I wanted this to be a Lovecraftian premise, but the problem is, you can't do Lovecraftian in D&D. Like, the players are way too powerful. The idea of Lovecraft is that you need to create monsters that are so powerful that normal humans can't really defeat. Most of the horror from Lovecraft and most of the conflicts in Lovecraft comes from the way main characters fight against the insanity, right? It's a battle within, and you can't really defeat the horror. Like the horror is so powerful, you don't have a chance to defeating it. But that's not D&D, and this is not what this party is interested into. So I had to basically like change things around, make it so that they adapt more to the setting. Should try Dungeon Crawler Classics funnel scenario. Meh. Don't really think this is the party for it. Yeah, Cosmic Horror requires you to be powerless. And when I did the Obelix, which is like a Cosmic Horror, and they did feel powerless, they didn't really enjoy that. So I'm throwing out the Lovecraftian out the window, you know. I don't think Lovecraft is overrated. I think like people don't do it properly. Like Lovecraft is really interesting as a setting. And unfortunately, I don't find it often, but yeah. As someone whose heritage can somewhat be related to Aztecs, I give you permission to appropriate my culture for entertainment. Well, actually, if you can DM me about some interesting Aztec things, like that would be great. Yeah, so anyway, so far I got like 4 major factions in the game. You know, the Church, Mayor Goldsmith, we got the Aztecs, and then the 4th faction is the technologically advanced people. Now, I don't want to spoil it a lot, but there are interesting ways within the D&D manual that you can, let's say, have an assault rifle. The way I will do it is by, and by the way, you're going to see Sargon freak out when I actually bring an actual gun into the fight. It's going to be like a wand of magic missiles. You know, like a wand of magic missiles ignores armor, always hits, but does lower damage. And instead of a wand of magic missiles, I can just say, well, he's got an assault rifle and he fires 4 shots and they all hit you. Yeah, and maybe I can modify it in a way, like I'm thinking of doing it so that if you take cover and you hide behind something, then the way wand of magic missiles works, I think it's like 3d6, you know? And if you hide behind cover, you only take 2d6 or something like that. Or maybe, you know, depending on the cover that you're taking. Great Encounter V, Desire for Vengeance related immersion. Soldiers don't kill officers over captured equipment. Okay, so this is something that I need to address, right? Like a lot of people ask me, why did I give Arch the ability to kill party members? The thing was, like, Sargon had, I think, like 4 or 5 outs that I given him. Like, if you're in the dungeon of a lord, whatever the reasons are, like, he is under the dungeon of Mayor Goldsmith, right? And he starts screaming about how he wants to kill the mayor if he gets out. Why would the mayor ever allow him to get out? Like, what? Why? I don't understand. Now, people say Arch killed Sargon. Even if Arch wasn't in the campaign, at that point, I would have killed him. It's like, he gave no reason for the mayor to release him. Like, he thought that he has the power in that situation. But here's the problem. I have played, I think, 2 campaigns so far. Like, 3 campaigns. Where a party member has more influence, like more political influence, than the rest of the party. So in Sargon's D&D campaign, Arch was a noble, and everyone else was a peasant. And there was another campaign where I played where a person was an inquisitor and other people weren't. Now, the issue with this is that it robs the other players from agency, from making discussions, from... You know, like, what is the point in playing when the other guy can overrule all of your decisions? And when the other guy can take all of the correct decisions, and he's like, you're pretty much like the sidekick. You know, the other guy is Batman and you're the sidekick. Now, the problem that I have with D&D as a whole, and this is something that I particularly don't like, I don't like the group aspect of it. Like, it's very difficult to find a group where everyone agrees with each other. And this is why it's a problem. It's not that I don't like working in groups. The problem with D&D is that, let's say a group member does something bad. Like, you know, a group member decides to shoot a cop or something. You're still forced to play with that guy. Like in a normal situation, like if I walk on the street and a friend of mine decides to take up a rock and throw it at a cop car, I just leave. Like, I'm not going to stand there, and I'm not going to want to meet that person ever again. You know, like, that's their decision. If they want to do that, that's fine, but keep me the fuck out, right? But in D&D, you can't do that. You have to play together. You still have to justify you being there. And that's the main issue that I have. And when you give to a person like so much power, it's a wrong thing. And I'm planning to balance the scales probably the next session or so that there is no more of this nonsense power imbalance. Because again, like I noticed that Sargon did it, Arch did it. I felt like this is the normal way to do it. But I think like it's not enjoyable for a player. Like I didn't enjoy that much in Crusaders when I didn't have the power and I was a peasant, while Arch was the Lord. You should have invited Sargon in here today for like 15 minutes. No, I don't think so. Like he doesn't like spoilers, so you know. There is not going to be a retcon. Like I found a very natural, in-story way of making all of the party to be on the same political power. Like I don't like the fact that a party member can be, well, yeah, okay, but I'm with the church and you're not. It's like the thing is, you didn't really work to get that. Like you just started that. Like you just created your character to be in that position. Hey Vey, against what I may have planned, I decided to purchase both Red Dead Redemption and Sekiro. Turns out I really want to finish playing Crisis 3 though. I didn't really like Crisis 3 as a game, to be honest. I'm sorry, I didn't... what is your spiritual animal D&D class? Gee, that's a tough one. It used that to be that I used to like magic and stuff, but I think I like playing a rogue more now. Could Archer's character be stripped of rank? No, I have another idea on how to balance the session so that all players are equal in rank, quote unquote. Like it's going to be very interesting, and it's actually something that I plan doing much further ahead, but I'm going to do it now. So you're going to see what I have in mind, and it's going to bring balance to the force, if you will. I really enjoyed the extra hour of banter after session 2 weeks ago. Yeah, maybe we can do that a little bit more. I heard some of the party wanted more tavern music. I know some good fitting tunes if you want. Yeah, but the party barely went to any tavern. The problem is with music on YouTube is that it gets copyright strike immediately, or even if it's free, you have to give credits. So you think it's easy, you know, like you put a tavern music, you give credits. Usually like the artists, they want an entire page of credits. And when you have to play like 10, 20, 30 musics, like you just got like massive number of credits in the description, so... no, the church won't promote the other characters. I mean, I don't want to give spoilers, because it's a major spoiler. So you just have to watch the next session. But it's going to be incredibly organic. It's just supposed to happen anyway. It was supposed to happen like a couple of episodes more, but I think I can do it now. And you're going to see, like, trust me, it won't feel like it's a punishment. It won't feel like, no, it's just completely 100% within the consistency. It's going to be entirely organic. And hopefully it's going to balance the scales. Okay, would you guys ever play Shadowrun? You know, like, it's kind of difficult to get in a new game. Like, I have to read all of the rule books and stuff. That's a no-no. But I do like the premise of Shadowrun. The problem is, though, I don't really know how to make really good cyberpunk encounters. I'm not... Like, I haven't watched a lot of cyberpunk medium in order to wrap my mind about the universe, right? Like, I know how to make horror, I know how to make comedy, I know how to make sea adventures. You know, I need to stick with my strengths. Like, I have no idea on how I could make a modern day cyberpunk like dystopia. Sargon always complains though. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Like, you'll always have players complaining, you know, and now that I'm the GM, I kind of understand how it's like. I love the D&D streams. These campaigns aren't the same without you. Thank you, V. Also, Oradia is better than Yash, just saying. I've never been to Oradia. I mean, maybe it is. I don't have a unnatural affection to the city I was born in. Would you guys ever play Shadowrun? If you don't know what it is, it's like a sci-fi fantasy elves and orcs. No, I know what Shadowrun is. I just don't know how to create interesting scenarios in it. I'm not familiar, with the universe. Like it's very difficult for me to create cyberpunk-like settings. It's not something that I hate. It's just that I don't know how to make interesting quest lines for it. Like I would have no idea where to begin. It's not the type of oppression that I'm familiar with, capitalist oppression. Like, I grew up in a socialist state. For me, the idea of businesses running amok is still foreign. I don't understand, like, the full extent of corporate oppression, so I can make a cyberpunk thing. Whatever you do will be an improvement on how your players have been getting on. You should doubt yourself. I think you have made a very interesting campaign. But thank you, I appreciate it. I worked a lot on it, Everything in the campaign tries to be connected. A lot of people say that Serafina is a self-inserted Mary Sue. It's so ridiculous. They have not engaged with the character at all, and I'm going to give you some spoilers now because it's a concept that I've been really thinking about. It's from religion, right? Like, how would Lucifer's daughter be like? And she's not really female or male. Like, she's an entity. She's a cosmic entity. And humans interact with her as she possesses a character. And, like, they look at her and it's like, okay, well, this is a woman. And they interact with her as if she's a woman. But it's not that. The way it works is that, imagine her like, the entity is like a liquid. And she just can fill different glasses. So she can take control over thousands of different people. And what she likes to do is to gather information. Like, that's her thing, like knowledge. That's her power and her strength. Because that's what Lucifer was interested. Like, he gave the Adam apple to mankind. And that was the knowledge. He brings knowledge to mankind. And in this case, knowledge doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. Like, just because you know more doesn't make you more equipped in order to handle the horrors. Like, if you're in hell and you know about horrors that could destroy mankind, it wouldn't make you a better person. Like, you have knowledge that something really evil out there exists, and you've no chance to fight against it. There's no weapons that you can have against it. It would probably destroy your life. Like, it would make you feel a terror and a dread, and make you feel helpless, and make you feel meaningless. So that's, like the type of character that she is. And she's not very good at combat or fighting, but what she is good at is just gathering knowledge or spreading knowledge. And her ability is to control different people at the same time. Like, she can just possess thousands of people in different places. And it's more like a hive mind type of creature rather than an individual. And the reason she was afraid of the last battle is because she made a deal with the Mayor Goldsmith, who had a daughter that was suffering from the plague. And she can't cure the plague. Like, she's trying to find a cure for it. But what she does is that by possessing Mayor Goldsmith's daughter, it prevents the daughter from dying from the plague. And she wasn't afraid for herself, she was afraid for the vessel, because if the vessel dies, she breaks the connection, the contract that she made with Mayor Goldsmith. There's a current Humble Bundle Pathfinder. No, I'm not interested for it. I think she's on the borderline of being a cringy self-insert, but I think V is playing her well enough. Well, again, I don't consider myself to be a collective hive mind in order to be a self-insert. No, she's just an entity that exists in that universe. I want the players to use her in order to understand how the gods of that universe are like. How the entities are manifesting themselves. How they gain power and eventually how they can defeat these entities. Which is why she's there. How did Arch's spell work if she was terrified in fear? Well, several times it didn't work. He got like a couple of critical ones. What's going to happen with the Crow Dream Demon? Yeah, so the Crow Dream Demon is a very interesting monster that I found in the manual. It's called the Night Hag. And the way they work is that they feed or they capture evil souls. So beings, they find a soul that's evil, and then they try to torment that particular soul until they can consume it. So the torment part is the way they spice the soul, like they add flavor to it, if you will. And Arch is one of the most evil characters that I have ever seen in a campaign. Like, he is the most greedy person imaginable. He is filled with pride. He wouldn't piss on a burning orphan unless someone pays him. And this is why he attracted this evil entity. That's why this evil entity is wants to consume his soul. And the way, yes, Arch's character is evil. There's no way about it. Like, he killed a paladin, right? Like, he killed someone from the Lord. Like, he is 100% evil. And if he keeps committing evil acts, then the Night Hag will eventually manifest itself. If he commits good acts, then the Night Hag will leave him alone. So the whole thing is just how he is going to conduct himself in the future. Will he keep doing good things and escape this demon that's hounding him, or will he actually keep doing evil things and get the hag to manifest? If you want to torment Arch, make him broke. Yeah, I know. I don't know about the Night Hag from Planescape. I haven't seen her. I thought the hags went after good people and twisted them. Yeah, they do that, but like, if there is a supply of a person that's already evil, then why would they have to twist them? Kiz was saying he wanted to talk to you more about his backstory as well, since he's feeling bored with his character, since he doesn't really know her backstory. Well, yeah, like, that's the thing. I asked the characters to do some interesting backstories, and believe it or not, like, Arch and Crow are the only people that actually came with a backstory. But, like, other people were like, oh, I'm a rogue. Oh, I'm a paladin. Oh, and it's very difficult to do something with that. The way I prefer it is that I am the dungeon master, and I can create everything that has to do with the world. So the monsters, the factions, the NPCs, that's on me. But everything that has to do with the player should belong to the player. Like, if a player create something, they should have a backstory for themselves. In the next campaign, maybe when someone dies, they lose one stat off GM choice, strength, stamina, etc. Maybe they have a choice to regain the stats with potions. Yeah, there should be a punishment for death, to be honest. What is your favorite edition? I mean, I haven't played any of the others, so the 5e is the one that I really like. Would you like some custom-made macros? No. Thank you, I appreciate that. Arch's real fear would be losing control. Otherwise, he's going to revel in evil. Yeah. Serafina turns into a Night Hag. No, it's actually the other way around, like the Night Hag turned into Serafina. You seem to have forgotten the subscribe star link from your descriptions. I don't know how to modify it. But oh, the description in the live chat. Okay, well, I'll have to add it. Yes, I will. It can be hard as a player, though, if you don't know anything about the world. You're effectively forced to create a generic backstory. I mean, that's true, but I did explain, I sat down with the players, and I asked them, like, what do you want to be? Like, this is the world, like, what do you want to be? And, besides Arch, no one gave me anything, so. Now I'm wondering why you gave Arch 1,000 gold right off the bat with the low IQ Bayer, to keep him invested. No, that's not the thing. Like, the way I did it, because the story required the loss of memory from the characters, they started off with no gold, and the 1,000 gold was supposed to be for the entire party. But Arch just took it. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like, no one else complained, no other party member complained about it. And it's like, okay, well, let him take it. The Night Hag can take the form of Dev or Kyle. Will the campaign end? I mean, I plan to keep it going, you know, as much as possible. Like, I can constantly come up with new stuff. But I assume, like, I do have an ending planned, yes. I do have, like, at least some idea of what will happen. Now, it depends if the players are gonna do the reasonable thing. Like, if they want to become murder hobos or something like that, then, yeah, I mean, I'll just have to change the ending. Didn't make sense to complain if they have no memory, yeah. Patreon might steal your money, V. Better to pull out while you can, no? Well, I always take all of the cash away from Patreon whenever I can. But I don't think they're allowed to steal my money. Sargon is lazy. Have Kibbs do his backstory. Well, I did do a backstory for him. You know, I gave him a manor and everything. And, like, he could have actually started a rebellion against the church. He could have done so much cool things with it. And instead, he decides to commit suicide by cop. Like, what can I do then? Arch will decide to find a way to kill the night hag before he decides to do nice things. Yeah, I mean, this is the second time Arch plays this character. It's difficult to work with him in a party. Like, he is incredibly greedy. He is the one that wants to make all the important decisions. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, if this was a one-on-one campaign, but it's difficult for the other players. Let me put it like that. Why make Arch an Inquisitor and give him so much power over the party? Yeah, it was a mistake. I'll rectify that somehow. Patreon can legally take your money. Not if you're in Europe, by the way. Like, it really matters where you're from. Terms of service means jack shit in Europe because the law of the land transcends terms of service. Like, for example, murder is illegal, right? If I make a contract where I allow you to murder me, like, legitimately, okay, it has no value in the court of law. The law is more important than whatever terms of service you have. I didn't see your comment, and the Night Hag is an entity which feeds on evil souls, the souls of evil people. So, yeah. Saga didn't even look at the books in the manor. How many missed opportunities have there been? I had like 3 different quests based on the books in the manor. You know, I don't control what the party does. So if they, like, I give them plot hooks. If they're not interested in making, like, investigating the world, talking with characters, getting plot hooks, then, you know, it's frustrating. I get that, like, when you create a map and you have, like, different enemies and whatnot, and then the party just ignores it. But it is what it is. V, I'm a DM. I wish to help you in any way I can. I really think that Arch and Sargon are running the campaign. You need to be more assertive and don't allow meta arguing. Talk to me on Twitter and we'll see. But yeah, no, like, Arch and Sargon are the, how should I say, the more outspoken voices in the party. You know, like, Arch wants to pull it one way, Sargon wants to pull it the other way. I feel like Devo would have been the most benevolent lord. How do you plan to mend the rift between Arch and Sargon? Well, this is difficult. You know, like, in-game I will mediate it in a way that I think both will find it appropriate. But out of the game, like, that's between them. I don't know. Like, there's nothing I can do. You know, if they don't like playing with each other in the same party, there's really nothing that I can work with. Replace Arch with Dankula. Well, I don't know if Dankula can actually take the story seriously either. It's really difficult to find a group that has cohesion. Arch and Sargon is Tango and Cash. Yeah, probably. Yeah, the thing is, like, they both have some egos, I suppose, which clash with each other. When they don't have a purpose in their characters, then means the purpose is to take over the campaign in a blaze. If they complain about Arch, they die. We'll see. I think next session is going to be interesting. I don't know what they're going to say about it, but it's probably going to add a little bit of spice. Let's put it this way. You don't know if Dankula will be a good role player? Well, who knows? I don't think I've ever seen him roleplay. Yeah. Tim Pool's beanie is good at D&D. Is that a thing? Is Tim Pool versed into the Dungeons and Dragons universe? I can't even bring another person in because we're already full. You know, I don't want to have like a campaign with 10 or 20 people. It's already bad as it is. Like, what pisses me off the most is if one person can't make it. Like, let's say it's the next Wednesday and one person can't join, then we have to call it. And we can't reschedule it until the next Wednesday. So, I don't want to get another person in. Okay. I really like the campaign and want to see more interaction with the Mist. Well, I'm planning to have like some quest lines based around that. Supposedly Tim's crew is eventually starting D&D. That would be interesting. One thing you can add for future campaigns is that players must have at least one reason as to why their character must work with others to achieve their aims. Yeah, I mean, I thought I gave them a reason. It's like, you know, go here and retake the manor. And then they fight over stuff. And they beat each other senseless. Like, what can I do against that? Crow is a godsend. He should have a big ego given his level of knowledge, but he's laid back. You should watch Tales from My Wife's Son for inspiration. Is that an actual thing? Can you say what the Mist actually does? I already did. The entire city is in hell, and the Mist are the souls of the damned. So if you go into it, they attempt to take possession of your body. It's why people come back possessed after going in it. Unfortunately, making Sargon a mindless church drone probably wasn't the greatest hook. That's what he wanted. Like, he literally wanted that. He wanted to be a guy that can beat stuff up. And it's like, okay, well, do you want to be affiliated with the church? Yeah. It's like, okay, well, I can make you an Inquisitor. Oh, no, I don't want to be an Inquisitor. It's like, okay. V, is Patreon facing legal fee destruction? Your country laws means nothing. Yeah, well, how much will I lose? You know, like, of course I appreciate if people move over to Subscribestar. But I don't think it will face legal fees destruction. I think there's a lot of people into social justice that care about it. So they will be really upset if it goes away. Like, you'll probably see like some people doing donations just to keep Patreon afloat. I can't repeat that again, confusing Zark. You'll have to rewatch the stream. If it would be nice if you can make a channel playlist. I probably will. I will make a playlist for them. I really like your fondness for setting up something weird and paying it off in a couple of minutes. I wish the group would have the slightest patience and learn the 17th time you try it. Well, we'll see. We'll see when I bring modern day technology like guns and shit. Like, you know, like it's something really cool. Like, what would win between an Earth Elemental and an Abrams tank? You know, like, who would win between a dragon and, let's say, some anti-air gun, or maybe a dragon and some F-16 jets? Like, that would be interesting to have. Be careful about your dice roll. Not every single thing in D&D needs to be a dice roll. No, I don't care. Sargon complains a lot, but he's not to blame with happened with Arch. Want to simplify D&D? Why the fuck would I want a more simplified D&D than what I got now? Like, I got D&D 5 edition. It doesn't get more simplified. Remember the social justice campaign that tried to get the gay marriage passed as a law and then got wrecked by the DM because they never took down the evil necromancer? I don't remember that. Realistically, the modern tech, every time a dragon's flesh is still flesh and an AA gun could rip right through that. Yeah, but here's the problem. In D&D, things don't work the same like in our universe. Like, if you have a guy with plate mail, someone shooting an arrow into plate can still do damage. You know, like, arrows penetrate plate. That doesn't work in real world. So, you know, a dragon apparently has very thick armor that's thicker than adamantium, which is not a metal from our world. Can cast spells. So, you know, technically, yes, the fighter jet, I think, is still stronger than a dragon. But then it also depends. Like, what if the dragon casts a spell? You know, what if the dragon uses lightning or some shit and deactivates the? It's interesting. Is the campaign going to be the first to actually finish since Cyberpunk? I hope so. They're all magical creatures, though. You just give them as much magic as you want. Yeah. Dragon-tipped bullets. Problem solved. Yeah, well, that would work. You need to find ways like this to make the rest of the party be more dominant. We'll see. In real life, plate harness arrow-proof. Yeah, I mean, you can't... If a guy is wearing plate, you can't even use a sword against it. But in D&D, you can even punch a guy with plate and do damage. The arrow doesn't actually pierce the plate. If he beats the AC, it's basically simulating that the arrow finds a gap. Okay, what if the guy punches someone else in plate? How does that work? I love the campaign so far. Perhaps a powerful NPC commander can make them work together. Well, usually what they do when they encounter a powerful NPC, they end up attacking it. We'll see. There's an anime about that very thing. Tanks win. What, a tank versus an earth elemental? I don't know. Like, I don't think you can even use the targeting computer to fire at it at long range, because it's not designed to get like that. Arrows can get through the gaps in the plate. Yeah, you know, like, I really hate that. Like, that idea. It's like, yeah, the gaps in the plate. Man, like, okay, let's say you have a skilled archer that knows about the gaps in the plate. Wouldn't the plate wearer also be aware of his gaps in the plate? So if let's say someone wants to fire at the gaps in the plate, why can't I just do this and cover them up? Or you know, like, do this and cover up when I see the arrow coming. Everyone is rules lowering against you. Yeah, I have the best rule lawyers right now. In the Game Master Manual, it says that the GM makes the laws. So if I don't like something, I can just change it. That's the best rule lawyering I got. Now, if it's something that I didn't read the spell properly, or, you know, like something that I didn't notice, okay, fine. But I will not allow rules lawyering anymore. It's like, no, it's my world. You do the things that I'm telling you to do. I'll keep it consistent. Like, if I say something is this way, it's going to be consistent. But no, I'm not really interested in rules lawyering that much. How about the fact that a monk took out a T-Rex with his bare hands? It wasn't really a T-Rex. Like, that encounter was severely nerfed, and he rolled really high. But it was also because, like, the druidess that was using the polymorph spell didn't expect that to happen. Like, it took her by surprise, which is why I allowed it. And plus, it was really cool. But no, he didn't actually fight the T-Rex. Have you ever considered introducing critical hit and critical fumble charts? No. It was a huge T-Rex. Yeah, she polymorphed. And when you polymorph, you gain the ability to just be how big or small you want. So, I'll grant you, punching a T-Rex to death is entirely unrealistic. Well, yeah, you know, but it's D&D. Like, D&D is supposed to be very heroic, like the stuff of legends. You know, like, if you read the Bible, there's this guy in the Bible named Samson. And Samson is like the Hercules version of Christianity. Like, he's really strong. And he's got, like, really long hair and whatnot. And I think he was fighting against the Philistines or something. But there's, like, this part in the Bible where the guy grabs the donkey of a jaw, like a donkey jaw. He holds it in his hand, and he manages to beat, like, I think it was like 200 Philistines or something, like men in armor, and he just beats them with the donkey jaw. Now, when you look at it, it's like, okay, well, that's obviously realistic, right? Like, I mean, it should have been like a mountain of corpses, and he would be on top with the jaw, while people were climbing it in order to get him, and he would just whack them in the head. So, you know, like, that's the type of thing that I'm going with. I'm not going for 100% realism in combat. Like, if it's something really cool and awesome, I will allow it. Like, let's say a Cyclops wants to throw a boulder, or a catapult throws a boulder at the party, and the monk wants to jump in air and kick the boulder away. If the monk wants to do that, I will allow it, but it has to be some really good rolls. Otherwise, the monk will go splash. So, was it 500 men? Okay, so 500 men. Like, can you imagine how much is 500 men? Like, that is a small football stadium. You know, like, and he beat all of these men with a donkey jaw. Like, assuming you could, I think like after 20 or 30 people would just fall down and there would be like a pile of corpses. Like the others would just rout. Yeah, it wasn't defeated. He slain them. That's correct. In GURPS, you define all the physics and all the magic in your world. Okay. Why have you not required the party to use perception? I did. A donkey jaw is huge. I just googled it. Like, man, he could even have a sword for all I care. Like, even a machine gun. Alright, like, if you have a machine gun in the Bible times, and you start to gun down people, like, I guarantee to you, after you gun down 100 or 200 people, the rest will stop coming. You know, like, people aren't like that. People aren't suicidal. They don't go, like, to Samsung going, Banzai! I think inspiration would be a good idea. I did use inspiration, but anyway. He also ripped the gates of city gates. Yeah, he did that. He was like the Hercules of the Bible. Rising of the Shield Hero introduced modern weapons late into the novel, as one of the people transported to that world knew how to create guns. So he taught the bad guys how to make them. Well, that's really interesting. I hope they're going to make season 2 of Rise of the Shield Hero. You are doing a good job. Just stop Sargon and Arch when they're going autistic. Okay. You'd be God with an AK. See, you think that. Like, I really hate this idea of you go back in history with an AK and you're God. People would be afraid of you. No one would want to trade with you. And not only that, like, let's say you do have an AK, right? You need to sleep. Like, you need to go to sleep. How do you sleep anywhere? Like, you would be afraid to close your eyes. You know, you would be afraid to eat or drink because someone might poison you. And even like with an AK, like let's say you're fighting, right? Archers were not that bad. Like if it's just one person with an AK and you're facing like an entire division of archers, they can rain the entire sky with arrows. Like it's not as OP as you think. You want until you run out of bullets. Well, they probably wouldn't know that thing runs out of bullets now, would they? Honor and valor can trump fear depending on the person's. Yeah, I mean, it depends. For example, most religions that promised people heaven if they die in combat created some of the most successful empires on earth. The Vikings, the Islamic Empire, the Aztecs, you know, like what they have in common is like, if you die, you go to heaven. And I think even the Crusades, like the same thing the Pope said. It's like if you die in a crusade, all of your sins are forgotten or whatever. Enjoying the repeat, and I want you to assert yourself more over the party. One really good character, archer with good cover or stealth, could take someone out with a gun. It's not like you only need archers, you know. You have crossbowmen, you get poisons, you get people with spears. And it's also like if you're being surrounded or not. I mean, the way I'm thinking, like for the people at the time, someone with a gun would be a sorcerer or a vile wizard. It's, you know, an affront to God. Like they would send pretty much, like in the beginning you'd probably face with a couple of armed militia or whatnot, but like eventually when the king starts taking you seriously, they might even send entire armies in order to get you. What version of hell is the town in? My version of hell. I'm going to create it, and I'm not spoiling this part yet. The 9 layers, infinite chaos. No. It's completely homebrewed. Who was the British dude who used the longbow in World War One? I don't know, but I have heard the story, and believe it or not, like the longbow was actually quite useful in World War One. You could fire it a lot faster than they could fire a gun, so Hyperrealism is good. Can be really funny, but can go far, and it's just really gay. Okay. Aztecs would rain down arrows with poison. Believe it or not, making poison is not that difficult. What they used to do in World War One, and it's illegal now. Believe it or not, it's against the Geneva Convention. But they would sink their bullets in the latrine, so they would cover their bullets with feces. And if you get hit by a bullet, it automatically causes infection. So yeah, I mean that's one way to use poison weapons, I guess. I did have a private talk with Arch. The true way to use weapon like that is as a sniper. Poison would be pretty uncommon for an army to use. The thing with poison, yeah, like to poison the arrows of, let's say, an entire army is very difficult because there's a lot of poison, right? And obtaining poison with the technology people had at medieval time was difficult. But it would be more used, I guess, as a terror weapon than as a way for victory. Because very few poisons act immediately. Most poisons, they have a very slow effect. So even if a person gets poisoned, they would still go through the battlefield, and the battles wouldn't last that long. Like, the battles were quite short. And by the time the poison takes effect, it's usually when the person is in the tent or whatever. Poison your caltrops. No, they used to poison the wells, and they would burn down the fields as a scorch earth tactic. How much does holy water cost in your game? What makes you think holy water would be effective? Make tokens. Tokens are fun. No. The Vietnamese did something similar with bamboo traps. Yeah, I mean, bamboo traps are also illegal. But yeah, they're very effective, as you can imagine. And it's used to demoralize troops. If hell plays a role in the mist, why not have devil demons take interest in power plays between the church and the higher-ups in Arch and Sargon? Because the demons, the Baron of Hell that owns that particular region, has already made a deal with the Patriarch, and he is protecting that city from the devils and the demons and the souls of the damned. So that's why they don't take an interest. But you have Serafina that took an interest. So there are other entities that are at play. The reason guns are good is because they're easy to learn. Any given archer was probably better than any given gunman. Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, I think in the American Civil War, you had, in the English, in the American-British Civil War, you had Washington requesting a regiment of 100 archers or something, and he was told that they don't exist anymore because in order to fire a longbow, it was a lifelong achievement. Like, you started firing since you're a kid, and you get broadened shoulders, you get muscles developing in various areas that are used for firing. So yeah. Will my demons be futtas? I haven't thought about that. I hope V doesn't make Satan just pure evil and makes him morally great. Well, I already made Serafina like that. She's his daughter, and she's just interested in knowledge. She's just interested because the same thing, Satan gave humanity the fruit of knowledge, and that's what she's interested in. Are there going to be angels? Yeah, I'm planning to have angels in the campaign. Serafina is half angel, so. The training of an archer starts with his grandfather, I've heard. I didn't know that. Not a civil war. We didn't want to rule England. We didn't want... That doesn't matter. There are other civil wars that ended with the other party not wanting to rule. I mean, the Confederacy didn't want it to rule the North. And this idea that you only have a civil war if either side wants to rule is ridiculous. Satan is evil, though. Yeah, no, he's definitely evil. I mean, It depends how you view things, I suppose. Like from what perspective? From his perspective, he's probably not evil. As a hunter, gun is much easier. Yeah, I've never went hunting. The only evidence you have for that in theology is God's word, which, if it turns out Satan isn't evil, is unreliable. Would silver weapons work in your world? Depending on what you're fighting against. Is he devil or demon? Well, like my campaign is homegrown, so it doesn't really care about that distinction. But no, like Satan would be an angel, so he wouldn't be a demon or a devil. How would you write an angel? Would they be pure business, perfectly virtuous, or something else? They would be virtuous and they would be soldiers. So they would just be following commands. And they would have to be focused on the virtues, which are, blah. The virtues of Catholicism. But here's the thing, like, I'm really tired of seeing angels being written as bad guys, It's like, oh, it's just morally gray. Angels are bad guys. No, if I have angels, they will actually be pure good. They would be lawful good, I guess. They would probably execute Arch, though, because he's guilty of all manners of sins. Lucifer is the angel, Satan is the name of hell. No, not really. Lucifer is his name, Satan is a title. From what I understand, Satan translates to the one who we should combat, like the one who we should fight against. If Satan takes evil souls into his army, wouldn't he treat those soldiers well? Well, he probably would, wouldn't he? Name is Lucifer, but friends call him Satan, yeah. Is there vampirism and lycanthrope virus? Yeah, there would be. Dismissing the Bible is going full Tropic Thunder. I haven't gotten these theological arguments. Satan means adversary. Yeah, I knew something like that. The one who should be combated, I guess. Well, it's how my teacher explained it. I mean, if it actually means adversary, then fine. It makes sense to have angels as good because otherwise they aren't angel. Why would you bother having evil angels? Well, like you look at Supernatural and it's like, oh, well, God has left and now the angels are running heaven and they're evil. Or you look at Spawn and, oh, the angels are just hyper focused on their mission and they don't do anything. Like, no, that's not what I want to do. It's like, no, if I have angels, they're beings of pure good. Angels comes down from the ceiling and kill the party. Did I play Helltaker? I even made a review for Helltaker. It's an excellent game. Let me see if I can find something else that's interesting. This is something that really made me find funny, right? So a lot of people don't understand what centrism is. And centrism is the position of the middle ground. It's like, it doesn't mean you're on the fence or you don't, like, no, it's the third option. Like, it's an actual solution. It's a literal position. But usually it pisses off both the left and the right. So for example, okay, let me give you the left is completely pro-choice, right? Like, even I have heard some crazy people saying that post-birth abortions are okay, right? There was like last year some, but like mostly they're like the idea of abortion before 1 day is fine, right? So that's the leftist argument. The right argument is that all life is sacred and abortion should be illegal, right? The centrist argument is like someone like me who has lived in a country that criminalized abortions and you ended up with more than you wanted because women who didn't want to have the kid would either ingest large quantities of alcohol, smoke a lot, hit themselves in the pregnancy, use various methods and poisons in order to try to do it themselves, clothes hangers. So what ended up happening was the birth of a lot of children with various diseases and handicaps because some would survive these atrocities. While in other cases, you would have an epidemic of hepatitis because they would find doctors that were willing to provide the surgery under the table, and they didn't sterilize the equipment. They didn't do anything like that. So I'm not okay with criminalizing it. But I'm not okay with what the left is advocating either. Like, I don't like it when I see on Instagram, look how much weight I lost, and you see this woman that posts a picture with a big belly and then a picture with after an abortion, right? So, in my opinion, the middle ground is that it should be legal, but it should be used as a last solution, and it should be social stigma against it. Okay, that's the middle ground. Let's take something else. Guns. Alright, like, on one hand, you have people that are for everyone to own every weapon under the sun, which is something that I'm more okay with now, to be honest. I'm on the right. The left is like, all guns should be banned. And I guess like the centrist position that pisses off the left and the right, it pisses off both because you do not give them what they want, is no, there should be some sort of regulation. But like, here's the problem, right? The position exists. Like, it's an actual position that is not similar to what the left wants. It's not similar to what the right wants. And sometimes it might even be the popular position that everyone agrees with, right? So when you see things like this, what centrism isn't. Kill 1,000 kitties, don't kill any kitties, kill 500 kitties. And what centrism is. I strongly agree with side B on the issue that we shouldn't kill kitties. That doesn't mean they're right about everything. No, that's not what it is. There are situations where you do need to control the population of cats, like in Australia. In Australia, the cats have grown to immense proportions where they are threatening the ecosystem of other animals. So they are endangering bird species. They're endangering rodent species. Something needs to be done, okay? So you can say, yeah, killing kitties is wrong. Why can't we just castrate them instead? Like, we can reduce the population by spaying the cats. And that would be the centrist position. And you don't give either side what they want, because one side wants to kill them, one side doesn't. And then you're like, okay, well, why not just castrate them? You know, that's what centrism is the third solution. No, but seriously, like, there are some pictures with cats in Australia which have mutated. Like, we're talking about feral cats which have been left on the street and through evolution they've managed to grow big again. I mean, look at this, okay? This is a house cat. It's like Australia has been invaded by giant feral cat. Look how big it is. It's almost like a wild animal now. And they're attacking livestock. They're endangering bird species. They're causing havoc in the Australia ecosystem. Centrist is having no ball. How is having no ball by suggesting that they should be castrated rather than killed? I think it's the most popular position in my country, you know? Jesus, that's like a Maine Coon. No, Maine Coons are actually smaller than that. Like, that is just a massive cat. It's a Khajiit, yes. Yeah, centrist is a label to attack sensible individuals. I think that too, to be honest, like, the more I see. But, you know, like, centrists aren't right all the time. Like, there are times when I agree with the right. Or at times when I agree with the left on some issues. Like, I don't... though, to be honest, what the left used to be, the one that I agreed with, like, for example, legalizing marijuana, I don't think that's a right or left issue anymore, you know? It's just... Castration is having no balls. Yeah, that's true. Castration would stop the cats from killing. No, but it would reduce the population, man. That's the issue, you know? It's like, you're not killing the ones that exist, but you're making sure that they're not going to reproduce at the same pace. You really don't see the irony in saying that centrism saying removing. No, I see it now. Sorry. Um, P is stored in the balls. Yeah, I actually heard that. I forgot who said it, but I did hear it. It was funny. All right. Let's see if we got time for something else. I can't believe I don't have my subscribe star link here. Like, I'll have to put it up. Yeah, Patreon is in big doo-doo right now. You know what I hate about woke people? Like, look at this. I do not speak for Valiant, but for myself. As for myself, I have not nor will in the future hire someone who chooses to actively participate in a group that harasses women, people of color, and other minorities. And here you have her harassing a person of color. I've got so much I want to say, but I'm biting my tongue. Still waiting for any accountability from Jay, and he did multiple covers. He knows what he was doing, unless it's just incredibly stupid. So this is a person of color. And they're like lecturing, oh, don't harass people of color, and then they're harassing people of color. But I feel like what they're going to say is that they're harassing people of color for the right reasons. You know? Australia lost the war with the emus. What makes you think that they can beat cats when they can't even fight Big Dumber? Yeah, the thing with the cats is actually very difficult. I think they're one of nature's best predators. Like, I don't think there is any predator on land that is more skilled and better suited for survival than a cat. So it's going to be very difficult. How is the left anti-weed? No, the right should be anti-weed. But I don't think that the right is anti-weed anymore. Hey, Surefire Otaku, how's it going? I wish these woke people would get sued for slander and libel. Well, Patreon got sued. Like, again, like what happened with Patreon, as I understand it. When they created their terms of service, they never thought that they're going to ban people for the things that they think or the things that they say. They just, decided to ban people out of the blue. And I don't think they expected anyone would sue them over it. And when they got sued, they realized, oh, wow, we have to actually forward millions of dollars in arbitration. I did check out Australia has big cats. Sure, Fat Otaku wants to get spoiled. Yeah, no, he does like to get spoiled. He's like a whore, and the spoilers are a big cock for him. Both Trump and Biden do not want to legalize weed. That's very interesting. Like, I never knew why they don't. But there are, I think, like, maybe they want more states to legalize it before it becomes like a sensible proposition. It's quite interesting to realize that weed was legalized. Like, I remember when I was playing Red Dead Redemption, you can actually buy cocaine gum in the stores. Like, I don't know if that's realistic. Like, if you could actually do that in the Wild West, to buy coca gum from a store. But it's interesting. Mike Cernovich said if Sargon fans sue Patreon is done. I don't think Sargon will sue Patreon, though. The thing is, like, there's a lot of people that are upset at Sargon because a lot of their Patreons left. Even though, like, I don't think, like, Sargon had anything to do with it. But the idea that there are people that say, well, why didn't you just bend the knee? Why didn't you just suck the corporate cock? It's so weird. It's like, why would he? You know? But I get it. Like, people were legitimately financially hurt because of Patreon's decision. And, yeah, I don't think they would appreciate if Sargon sued Patreon now. I personally would, probably. I think I would, to be honest. It's like, they deserve it. They have it coming. It wouldn't be Sargon suing Patreon, it would be his Patreons. Yeah, no, but I think, like, they would expect people to make, for him to make a video asking his Patreons to sue Patreon. You can buy coca leaves and tea. I don't think you can do that. Sargon should sue. He's one of the few that can stick it to Jack Conte. From my understanding, Jack Conte isn't even in charge there anymore. Like, he doesn't really understand the things that are happening, and his trust and safety council has completely took control. Like everything happens with the trust and safety council. They're the real people that are running Patreon, and what they're doing is like you get to see every now and then like an arbitrary decision. It's like, oh, we're not going to allow hypno porn anymore, or we're not going to allow this and that, like really bizarre, things. And the reason they do this is usually because they run a racket. Like they want the people that they're friends with to make money, and the people that they don't like shouldn't make money. So by eliminating like some hentai artists, that means that the over the base of subscribers, people who are willing to pay artists, are going to have less artists to choose from, and eventually they drive up the profits to the people that they like. Um, yeah, hypno porn. It's like it's so bizarre. Like if you don't know what hypno porn is this fantasy porn, I guess you can call it, where one person hypnotizes another, right? Like you have like a succubus, and it hypnotizes a guy, and Patreon goes like, okay, that's rape, and it's like, yeah, but it's not realistic. Like you can't. It's not something you can even do in real life. Like hypnosis doesn't work that way. It's just a fetish. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? In some South American countries, you can buy coca leaves. Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure there are places in the world where you can buy whatever you want, but still. Yeah, there was Coke used in Coca-Cola. No leftists do criticize Israel, just not mainstream media. Yeah, leftists do criticize Israel all the time on Twitter. Like if you go on Twitter, like some people with the hammer and sickle and the black flag, it's usually like even the BLM. Like I loved it when the BLM in the UK started saying that, oh, free Palestine and we need to stick with Palestine. A lot of companies that supported BLM before started backpedaling really hard. Yeah, Ka from the Jungle Book. Yeah, that's what hypnoporn would be like. Here's why Americans don't like legalizing weed. Hemp clothing and other hemp materials threaten to destroy the southern cotton crops, so they use the drug as an angle to ban it. Yeah, but that's not the case in 2020 anymore, is it, Devo? So why don't they do it now? Character trait smokers hate admitting to is that it does create weirdos that become very unaware of the world around them. Well, but isn't that what happens with alcohol, Alex? Like, isn't alcoholicism a problem? I am willing to argue with you on medical basis that being addicted to pot is less harmful than being addicted to alcohol. Like, I would rather be addicted to pot than to be addicted to vodka, for example. It is Puritanism gone wild. I really think it is. Party encounter with a succubus. I don't think this is the correct party to have an encounter with a succubus, though. Why are there modern items in the campaign? Oh, well, I don't want to spoil that, but obviously, if you keep watching, you're going to find it out. It's just a legacy of William Ram. Yeah. There are negative aspects of pot, of course, especially for people that are young using it, but that's why it would be banned, just like young people aren't allowed to use alcohol. And they're also not allowed to smoke cigarettes. Sargon would start shifting uncomfortably if they encounter a succubus. Well, no, Sargon will go Sargon smash. That's what he does. He just keeps going Sargon smash. Been a stoner for 20 years of my life. Liver is spotless. Well, how are the lungs? There are ways to solve the drug problem by legalizing it. Look at Hungary. Did Hungary legalize the drugs? I didn't know that. Alcohol has very positive effects. Yeah, no, I mean, yes, it depends. See, this is actually very interesting. Like, I was at med school, and we actually talked about the protective effect that alcohol has on the heart. Right? Like, it improves circulation. It's really good if a patient drinks 1 glass a day. And the next question was like, well, why don't we recommend this to patients? Like, why don't we recommend to patients to drink alcohol? And the answer is because from 1 glass, it turns into 2. From 2 glasses, it turns into 3. And then they become alcoholic. And when you become an alcoholic, it not only destroys your social life, it destroys your liver, it destroys your brain. So, yeah. There will always be people who get addicted to anything. And you're absolutely right. Like, there are people who get addicted to food. You know, like, you need to eat food to survive. But there's people who eat so much food that it's unhealthy. So, I agree with the thing. But the problem is that there are certain things more addictive than others. So, it's a lot easier, for example, to stop smoking a cigarette than it is to stop drinking, to stop injecting heroin, you know? And the process through which you go when you stop smoking is a lot less painful than the process through which you go when you stop taking heroin. And the thing with alcoholism is very interesting because a lot of people don't understand it. It's like being addicted to alcohol is actually a little bit more difficult to get into that position. You would have to drink like 1 bottle a day constantly, and then you get addicted. And the addictions of alcohol are quite nasty. Like, it even affects your facial features. It affects the way you look. Gives you a bright red nose. And when you don't have alcohol, it makes you a violent person usually. So, yeah. Weed has been linked to certain psychological conditions like psychosis. You know, like, everything is linked to some shit. But like, I can show you that weed has also positive effects, like for people that are suffering from epilepsy or whatever. Parkinson disease, I think, actually. Not epilepsy, Parkinson disease, my bad. I wanted to be an alcoholic when I was depressed. I couldn't do it. Yeah, it depends on people. Like, it's really fascinating. There are people with not much of an alcoholic problem and their liver is destroyed, and then there's people that drink alcohol constantly and their liver is fine. It's person to person, you know, it's genetic. Like, some people have a higher resistance to it than others, I guess. Alcohol affects the way women look too, probably. I was taught alcohol the only drug you can die from the withdrawal. Now, that's not true. I'm not watching that video. Now I'm curious. Alright, I'm going to go watch Short of Fans Otaku video. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate the donations. They really help a lot. And I'll see you on my main channel. I have a very interesting video with the ADL. Is it the ADL or the ACLU? I forgot which one. But they're basically like suggesting that police body cams are a necessity and they should be a thing. And now that cops are streaming the protests, they're suing the cops for streaming the protests. Like, you wanted those cameras. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys.